we've got our Mexico recap night tonight. So we had a team that went to Mexico for a week-long trip just 2 weeks ago. And so we're going to hear from them tonight. And we're going to try and get through all of the ones that want to share. Not everybody wants to, I think. But if you're on the Mexico team and you're a little bit scared, come on, we're with you. We love you. We want you to do it. So here's what we're going to do things a little bit different this year. We're going to try and get everybody up here, but we want to start with the youngest, actually. We'll go from the youngest to the oldest, okay? And we had a sizable group of old folks on this trip. And by old folks, I mean seniors. Man, there was quite a few of them. But let's start with the youngest. Who went to Mexico and you were a freshman or sophomore? So come on up if you were a freshman or sophomore. And is Christina, are you coming up? You going to do it? All right, she's going to do it. And yeah. And then, yes, come on up if you were a freshman or sophomore. Yeah, yeah. And Ryan Sabo. So, Sabo, you going to come up? You sure? No, not going to. All right. Oh, he can't. Oh, I thought he was. What's that? You're gonna help him come up. Good job, Joe. Okay then. So I'll tell you what. Let's get one of our juniors. Who was a junior that went to Mexico? Let's get one more person to fill up the chair. One of the juniors. Come on up. All right. He'll be the old man on the stage here. And where's our sound guy? I'm going to be using one of these mics here, and I'm going to hand off this wireless to them in just a moment. So let me hand this off to you.
Hello.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Am I there? All right. Hey, this is what I want you to do is just start with telling us your first name and what grade you're in. Obviously, everybody knows we've got the freshmen up here right now, sophomores, and one junior. But tell us what your first name is, because we don't know AJ. Go ahead.
I'm AJ, and I'm a junior.
Okay.
I'm Ruben, and I forgot.
And your grade? What grade?
Ninth.
Ninth grade. All right.
I'm Joe, and I'm in 10th grade.
I'm Ella, and I'm in 10th grade. I'm Christina, and I'm in 9th.
I'm Madison, and I'm in 10th grade.
All right, very good. Madison, you can hold on to that mic because I'm going to ask you some questions. And would you please tell us whether, was this your first time going on the trip, or how many times have you gone?
This was my first time.
First time, okay. And go ahead and pass that on. We'll ask Christina. Christina, which trip was this for you?
My first.
First time, okay.
This was my first time to Mexico and my second mission trip at the high school.
Yes, okay.
This is my 3rd time.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my 5th time.
On one of the mission trips, yeah. Total.
Going in total.
Yep, okay.
First time for both.
Okay.
It's my 4th mission trip and my 2nd time in Mexico.
Okay, and only your 2nd time in Mexico. Okay, missed one of the years. So, okay. Well, tell us what your what was the funnest thing that happened for you during the week in Mexico?
That's a hard one.
A lot of fun things happened, but what was the funnest thing?
The funnest thing was probably messing around with the kids. Especially we were at the construction site and we were just like throwing concrete at each other. It was funny.
Throwing concrete at each other, that's fun. Throw concrete at each other. So here's what we got. Emily made a video, and we will watch that video, but this time we're going to do it different. We're going to show it. We're going to be celebrating birthdays tonight. So when everybody's got their cupcakes, then we'll put on the feature presentation. When everybody's got their snacks, so you'll get to see. Right now, you're gonna have to kind of visualize on your own, like what they're talking about. But in the video, when it plays, you'll see, and you go, "Oh, that's what they were talking about." Now, we didn't get throwing concrete on video, so it's probably a good thing. But anyhow, yeah. Ruben, what was the funnest part of the week for you?
Teaching the kids in Mexico how to do church clap.
Okay, church clap. Yeah, how many of you know about the church clap? The song, the dance, yeah. Who's the artist? KB. KB. Okay, sorry, I don't get out much. So, Joe, what was the funnest part of the week for you?
Could you come back to me? Dude,
Too many?
there's
Okay, let's see if Ella's got some.
I think the funnest part for the week was hanging out with the kids. We got to play with them, like, after the work was done, and we got to do the VBSs with them and stuff. It was fun.
Okay, Christina, funnest part of the week.
For me, I would say painting with the kids, because we had like the railing that we were painting, and one of the days we had literally more than almost all of the kids that were out there painting, and they all had like paint over them and stuff, and there was like paint on the floor, and they were getting it like all over us and stuff. But even though like one kid literally looked at me and just swiped paint across my face, it was still like, it was just fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that those kids will remember that for a long, long time. So, yeah. Madison, what was the funnest part of the week for you?
Probably like painting with the kids, and doing VBS.
Okay, you were involved in the VBS too. Could you explain for us very briefly what was the VBS? Like, what did you guys do for the VBS part?
So we did like worship with the kids, and they did crafts, and they also did some games.
Okay, yeah, okay. What would you say was the hardest part of the trip for you? You know, biggest challenge, or yeah.
I don't, maybe like, cause like it was fun being with the kids, but sometimes it'll be like a lot. I don't know.
Okay,
Looking,
okay.
you
So
know.
sometimes being
Yeah,
with the kids
we'll-
that
we'll-
much.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you're not ready to have kids yet, then? Huh? You're like, man, yeah. We'll wait on that, huh? Okay. Let's pass it on to Christina. Christina, what was the hardest part, or the biggest challenge of the week for you?
Honestly, I'd say being away from like my home, my family, for a whole week. Cause like sure I've like been away from them, but most of the time I've always like had my sister there or something. And
Okay.
this time I went like just me.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Okay.
The language barrier was kind of hard because I know a little bit of Spanish,
Mhm.
but I can't speak it very well, so it was kind of difficult communicating. And also, I didn't like waking up early every morning.
But I mean, you wake up early every morning for school, don't you? And you're like,
I
wait,
wanted a break.
but then you're like, this wasn't school. It wasn't school. And I know. And so Joe, before you answer that question, would you tell us? You know, she said waking up early every morning. What time were we up every morning and on the go?
We were up like, we had to get up around like 6, and we had to leave like around 7, no, like 6:30, 6:30, 6:45, something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. But we usually didn't go to bed till like 11, usually 12, because people would be talking. But it was weird because people actually went to sleep, which was not normal.
Yes.
And
Yeah. Actually, the first night, I got into the guys' room late, but when I got in there, everybody was asleep and it was dark. And it was like, what in the world? But you know what? It's because we had so many old men on the trip. The old guys were like, turn out the lights. I'm a senior. I got to get my sleep. You know. So, what was the biggest challenge for you during the week, Joe?
Probably, so I love food. I know a lot of people love food. And so when you go down there, it's if you got these little Mexican ladies that are just giving you all the food in the world.
Yes.
And it's the best thing on the planet. But the hardest thing about it is that if you eat too much, you're done. Like, let's just say you're gonna be donezo. And so it's and so yeah. So it was just trying my best to stay healthy during the trip, trying to drink a lot of water because I know I didn't really do that last time, but yeah, just trying to stay healthy so that I could like work to the best possibility and not like get drained and just like labored to the point where it felt like just terrible.
Okay.
And then also to answer like the funnest part, was probably going with Carlos. If you don't know Carlos, he's one of the guys down there that owns a ranch that's associated with CDP, and he helps out like people down there with the widow's home. And so there's like a ranch that he owns down there. That last year we went and built the foundation for it, and it was really fun like going with him because we had to go and drop off some wood that we were using for the staircase, extra wood, and kind of just hanging out with his little boy. It was great to see and kind of just interact in a different way because I've never really done it that often, like interact with kids, but just kind of like being able to hang out, getting to know Carlos more because he speaks like English and kind of understanding like what's going on, just kind of seeing what was happening. I thought that was cool. And I thought it was really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ruben, before you answer the question about the biggest challenge, What did the a couple of them have mentioned that being up early, leaving, we tried to leave at 6:45 every morning. Do you remember, like, how did each day kind of go? So we were, it's already been said that we were waking up like at 6, trying to leave by 6:45. What did we do after that? Do you remember?
We'd head down to CDP, and we would eat breakfast, and then I don't remember. All that.
We'd have a Devo first. We'd have a devotional
we'd have
first.
Devo, then we would head down, have breakfast, basically get our marching orders for the day.
Yep.
And then from there we would usually paint first, and then we would go off to whatever else we were doing.
Okay. And when did the work normally end? Do you remember?
I do not remember.
Okay. Because normally we're going right up until lunch, and then as soon as lunch is over, let's get back at it. And we're going all the way till dinner.
Yeah.
And and then sometimes we had stuff going on after dinner also, because we weren't tired enough. So
Yeah.
let's throw in some more stuff, or ministry with the kids or whatever. So yeah. What was the most challenging part of the week for you?
I'd say the language barrier.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So you were wanting to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And there are some English speakers down there, but the kids, if you're hanging out with the kids, they don't speak.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to care, do they? They just,
not at all.
man, they don't care that you don't understand. They just keep talking, and you're just looking at them like, I don't know what you're saying, and they just keep talking, and you start to figure it out. But
Yeah.
okay, all right. AJ, what was the most challenging part of the week for you?
Sleep. I don't know how you guys got sleep because I got 0 sleep.
You were up all night.
That's why I said sleep.
You were the one in the middle of the night, like talking.
So why it's okay? So that's a valid point, very real part of the trip. Why were you not sleeping?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
So
like
probably not. You weren't in your own bed. You weren't in your own room, in your own house. It's probably part of it.
I triple mattressed up, and I still had 0 sleep. I had the softest mattress there.
Okay, why did you triple mattress? Why'd you put three mattresses?
Yeah, I stole them all from.
But why?
everyone else.
Why'd you do that? What was wrong with your mattress, the original one?
So my bed, it's firm, it's firm enough to where you can jump on it.
Okay.
But it's soft enough to where if you lay on it, you sink down a couple.
Okay.
And so I try to mimic that.
Yep.
And it didn't work.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're travel. You're not at home. You're not in your bed. So that means you're sleeping on this other bed, and it's just never going to be the same. And some people, they've got the gift of sleeping, man, and they can just go to sleep. And then others struggle, and in my mattress in particular, I could feel one of the springs all week long, just right in the middle of my back, and just it didn't hurt, but it was just there. It just kept it was like my bed was going, you want to go to sleep? Okay. So I would sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up.
For
So
some reason, the bed, I was able to sleep better over there in their springy beds than on my bed at home.
well, we'll get you a Mexico bed. Okay. What was okay? So let me explain one other thing. One or two of them mentioned CDP. So what is this all about? What is CDP?
CDP is Casa del Pastor, and
Which means House of the
Lord.
Yep.
God bless. I know it's for the widows and their children. So it's widows and abused wives, right?
Yeah. So it's for women. It's women and kids, women and their kids. So there are no single women there, and there aren't any kids that are alone. It's all moms. So it's moms and their kids, and they've either been abused or they've been abandoned by their husbands or their boyfriends. Maybe their husbands or boyfriends have been, they were on drugs or alcoholics, or they're beating them, or it could be lots of different things. Or in some cases, the guys just left. They just disappeared. And so then these ladies are on their own, right? So, okay. Tell us why you went on this trip in the first place. Why'd you decide to even apply to go on this trip?
I went on this trip because I'm a social butterfly.
Okay.
And to be honest, last year I kind of cried when we left because like I didn't want to leave, and so like getting the opportunity to come back was like, dude, I get to see all these kids again who aren't gonna remember me, so I'll just like relapse like the beginning moments.
Yep.
So that's like how I felt. I was like, they're not gonna remember me, so I can make a whole new impression and be like way cooler.
Okay. And wait a minute, before you pass that on, let me ask you one last question. So, do you hope to go again next time?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, same question. Why did you want to go on this trip in the first place?
I felt the Lord was calling me.
Okay. So, what does that mean? You felt like the Lord was calling you?
I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. But you just felt like the Lord was saying, "Man, you gotta go on this trip."
Yeah.
Okay. And would you go again?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Hope you do. Yeah. Some good workers. A whole team of good workers. Why, Joe? Why'd you go on the trip?
I mean, like, it's usually always, like, probably the same things. Like, I just wanted to go down there and help. But I felt like, especially, I guess most of the time, why I like going down there without really realizing it too much is it helps to open your mind a lot. Like, I remember when I was, like, I don't know, like 6 or something. I remember, like, going to, like, the store with my dad or something, and I saw, like, a homeless dude on the street. And what was funny is I didn't even realize that dude was a homeless guy.
Okay.
And I was like, Dad, like, what's up with that dude? And he was like, oh, he's homeless. And I was like, what's homeless? And he was like, what? And so he literally, and I think my sister was also there, he literally took us all the way down to, like, LA, and he drove on one of the better, like, streets of LA. And he basically, like, kind of showed us, like, what it was like down there. And it was kind of just, like, it was, like, it opened my mind. And I know, like, what happens is how privileged we are down here and how much stuff we have. And for me, like, subconsciously, like, I always like going down there. And I always don't really realize it a lot, but I always end up realizing, like, how much we don't have, or how much they don't have and how much we have. And so it's just a good reminder to kind of just see, like, how they're living and how simple their life is and, like, how much joy they have in their simple life. I feel like it's a good lesson for us.
Okay.
So I just felt like it would be good for me to go down there and do that and be able to help them in some way that I can. And also other people, like this guy, like all of them, they could also be able to see, just because I feel like it's a cool experience. And you'll be able to learn a lot.
Okay. Same question, Ella. Why did you go on this trip?
I went down because when I went to Mile High, I made really good connections with the people, and we got to serve and fellowship together. And this was just another opportunity to get closer with the people in this youth group and to serve and grow together.
Okay, excellent. Christina, why'd you go down?
I feel like God just kind of kept putting it on my heart and my mind. Like I would just be like doing like something like completely random, and then I just think like, oh, there's that Mexico mission trip going on at church. Like that seems cool, but I'm like, I've never been out of the country at all, and I'm like, okay. And then the next day I'd be doing something, and he'd be like, oh, that Mexico trip. And then I just felt like it kept getting like, I kept always thinking about it and stuff.
Okay.
And I go to school with AJ, so I would see him and he'd be like, hey, are you going to that Mexico mission
Okay.
trip?
Yep.
And he would like tell me about it, and then I was just kind of sitting there thinking one day, and I was just like, you know, I was like kind of scared to go down there because like it's just a foreign place.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was listening to a song, and it was like, you call me out upon the water, and then it's like where my feet go, or like something like that.
Yep.
And then I was like, I feel like God is just like telling me to go over there.
Okay. Madison, why'd you go on the trip?
So I went to the trip because I wanted to like try something different and like serve people, and
Yeah. Okay. Did you have a good experience?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you go again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christina, would you go again? Yeah. Ella? Yeah. All right. Joe, I know Joe would. Yeah. Joe would be there. Yeah, we had an excellent week. Now, we've got to get everybody else up here, so there's lots more stories to tell. So you got to ask them, hey, what about the trip? Or, I heard about this. What'd you guys do? Or ask them about the work because it was so much fun. Again, you'll see even the video, there's a lot in there, but I mean, it's not a week's worth. It's like these little, snapshots, glimpses of the week. And so if you ever get the chance to go with us down there, let's do it. Okay, let's give them a hand, and then we'll get. Let's see if we And Madison, you can leave the microphone sitting on that chair there. And let's see, do we have any other juniors that went? Any other juniors? Yeah, come on up. All right. And did we only have 2 juniors? Did we only have 2 juniors?
I'll go again.
The junior class, man, was okay. Let's go with some seniors. We need 5 more seniors to come up that went. Yeah, come on up. Okay, and we'll try and get all of you up here. 1, 2, and 1 more. There she is. All right, and I know we've got some others that went, so we'll try and get them up here also. Maybe even a couple of the adults. Watch out. Okay, please tell us your first name, and we already know what grade you're in, but tell us anyways. What grade are you in?
My name is Bella, and I'm a junior.
All right, next.
I'm Caleb, and I'm a senior.
Okay.
I'm Hannah, and I'm a senior. I'm Haley, and I'm a senior.
I'm Joaquin, and I'm a senior.
And I'm Alex, and I'm a senior.
All right, all the old people, man. Okay, Ali, which trip was this for you? How many times have you been down with us?
For Mexico, this is my 4th time, and my 8th mission trip.
Okay, so a lot of mission trips. She's a veteran already. Okay, Joaquin, how many times have you been with us to Mexico?
To Mexico, this was my 2nd time, but
Okay.
in total was my 3rd, including the Mile High Pine.
Okay, yeah, excellent. All right, Haley?
For Mexico, this is also my 3rd, but I've also been on Mile High.
Okay, yep.
For Mexico, this is my 3rd one, but altogether it's my 4th.
My same Mexico was this is my 4th time, and I've been on 7.
This was my first missions trip.
All right. So, Bella, because it was your first one, what made you go? What made you want to go?
Well, it started off more as just like I would see it every year, and I'd be like, wow, that looks like fun. That looks like it would be cool to go over there. But throughout the last week before we were heading out, I felt like I wasn't going for the right reason.
Okay.
And a big struggle was the Devo. And so
What's a Devo?
the devotion was just like you had to do 10 minutes of like a message or teaching.
Short Bible study, yeah.
Yeah, short Bible
10 minute Bible study. Okay. And so that was kind of scaring you.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I hadn't gone on other trips before.
Okay.
The Devo always scared me. But through making the Devo, God revealed it to me that I was meant to go on the trip because He wanted to show me more and He wanted to help me grow instead of it being just to serve others, but to learn myself.
Okay, so as you're preparing your Bible study, those things became clear.
Yeah.
That it's going down to help others, but also it's a time of growth for you. So, and that's one of the things that happens is you go down to Mexico and you go down with the mindset that we're going to go down there, we're going to help them, we're going to bless them as much as we can, and in the process you end up getting blessed, and some growth takes place in you, some maturity takes place in you, and it's always you come back and you notice that things are a little bit different from when you left. Okay, let's ask Caleb. Caleb, this is how many times have you been? This is your 4th time?
Yeah.
4th time. So what made you go on this trip?
I remember being 14, and you had announced saying, like, I think this is 2021, and you said, we're doing a Mexico mission trip, and I was like, whoa. And for my mom, it was a steal. $200 to send her kid away for a week. So, no, yeah. I think I just kept coming back because over the years, as I started, we all started growing up, the kids over there that were our age also started growing up, and then they got phones, and then they started texting me saying, you need to come back.
Yep.
And I guess being able to talk with them, it made me very, grateful, because hearing their perspectives on, their day-to-day lives, and it broke my heart, because this little girl came up to me and was just like, you have a dad? I'm like, yeah, I do. And she was like, oh, that's cool. Mine left. I was like, oh.
Yep.
I didn't know how to respond. I just stood there like, okay.
Yep.
But no, it just after I was like, what, like how, why? And she just said, no, just he just left.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a life, but it doesn't give you an excuse to not try to be better.
Okay.
But yeah, just over like being like every year I guess that I've done it is just, I don't know. I felt like, especially over there, you just see a lot more than I guess you would here. And Jesus is everywhere. You don't got to be a certain place to learn more,
Right.
or to like spiritually grow.
Mhm.
But I guess it's more of a push because you're with like-minded people.
Okay. And less distractions, right? Yeah, because you can't be on your phone for too long, because then Pastor Chris is going to say, hey, get off the phone, let's go get to work or whatever. And yeah. So there's less distractions, and you're going down there with the purpose of focusing on other people. I mean, that's a huge change. For most of us, we probably spend the majority of our week thinking about the world's best, right? Me, number one, right? That's oftentimes how I think. Like, oh, well, I'm the most important, so I got to make sure I take care of me. And then you're going down there, and it's all based. You're all focused on other people, which is it's great. It just stretches you. It's a good thing. All right, Hannah, what you've been down before, but what made you want to go down on this trip?
Because I just love serving the Lord, and I really love just helping the people down there. And I really love the kids so much. They're all so sweet, and it's just such fun playing with them and just learning more about them.
Okay, excellent. Haley, same question. What made you want to go down again?
Same reason. I felt the Lord was calling me a lot because I was like, oh, I want to go, but I'm 18, I should get a job, and couldn't get a job. So I was like, oh, that means the Lord's calling me to do this, because I was like, okay, if I get a job, then I won't go, but I will go if I don't get a job. I didn't get a job, so I was like, oh, then the Lord's calling me, obviously.
Yeah.
And also, I just love the kids a lot. I love playing with them. They don't ever remember me, but I remember them. I know a little bit of Spanish, so I at least can understand it. So I remember everything they tell me and everything, because I remember them, and I just love spending time with them.
Okay, excellent. Joaquin, this was your last trip with us. What made you want to go down?
Well, this year it was really complicated for me because this mission trip took place on top of a week of school for me.
So you missed school to go on this trip?
Yes, I missed a week of school, and it was really hard for me to decide that because obviously when I got back, I would have a whole lot of work that I would need to get done, which would be very painful to do. But as I took the time to see what I would gain from what option I chose, this was a lot better, because if I were to stick around to do my week of school, it would just cause a little more loneliness in my head, because I guess most of my good friends would go to Mexico, so it would just be a lot of isolation, which would have killed my mind. And then going to this, I'd like to grow stronger in the Lord with a bunch of brothers and sisters who care for me to death, and that's a great thing. And then it was great that we got to spend time with them throughout this week. And then it's also great to take a break from everything to connect with these kids. It's a lot better than interacting with anyone around here, because a lot of children nowadays here are addicted to their phones. So
okay.
But in Mexico, they're just free. And that's why I love coming back, because I always wanted to spend time with those kids who they want to be free.
Okay, excellent. You can hand that to Allie, and before she shares, it's just a whole. As you can imagine, those of you who haven't been down before, as you can imagine, there are some very, very wealthy parts of Mexico and some very poor parts of Mexico, and in between. But where we go, none of the kids come out with iPads, or they're not in the nursery with their iPad, or in the shopping cart playing whatever those kids play. I don't know. So they don't have that stuff. So guess what? You walk in hey, you smile at them or whatever. They immediately want, kamuchi, give me a piggyback ride, or they want to be on your shoulders, or, spin me on the tire, or whatever it is. and you just become their slave, really. It's like, do this, do this, do this. But you're just having a blast doing it because you're blessing these little kids. And it's just so much fun. Allie, what you've been down before? This is your last trip with us. But what was it that made you want to go down on this one?
Okay, so here in the States, I really like kids and children's ministry here, and I've taken it to different countries, and I just love doing it with the kids. So this year, I had the opportunity to take it to Mexico again, and so I was really excited about that and just putting on the program again with the kids and hanging out with them.
Okay, yeah, kids. It's always kids for Allie, man. She loves the kids. And I love kids also, but Allie loves kids even more, And so it's always, Allie, she had this 2-day VBS plan, like a mini VBS, those of you that have been involved with VBS before. But this time I told her, okay, you're in charge of it, pick some team members, and we'll try to get everybody in there and get everybody working and serving. And so her, but not just her, everybody, it's so much fun for me to see everybody serving. God has gifted each one of his children with a gift, some ability, something that they can do. Tonight we saw our worship leaders. We saw Rylan and Leah and Bella and Joe were up there, and they're all gifted for that. I'm not gifted that way. A lot of us are not. They're gifted that way, and so it's so much fun to watch that. And we go down to Mexico, and I get to see that in action. Before we get another group up here, let me ask the seniors. Was as a senior, this being your last trip, what do you want to tell the younger ones that are here?
I would say to go on the trips, go to the events, get involved, because these people in this room have blessed me more than I could ever say or put into words, and I'm just so grateful that we have these trips and that we're able to go. So take advantage of it and go on the trips.
Okay. Excellent. Let's ask Joaquin the same thing. Senior, what would you say to the younger ones that are in here?
I know it seems like you're gonna miss a lot back home, like back here, but I'm telling you, going to these trips is worth it because you gain so much more than a simple schedule kept in track. And same with her. It's it's a blessing to be amongst brothers and sisters who love you to death. And trust me, it's a lot better than spending your typical days by yourself in your house, in your room.
All right, well said. Haley.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I remember when I came in here as a freshman and they offered it, and I wanted to go, and I went to the meeting. I got the flyer and everything, but I ended up being so scared, and I let my fear control me that I didn't go. Biggest regret in my life. I wish I went. I mean, the Lord was calling me to serve in other ways here in children's ministry first, but still, that's the biggest regret ever, just letting that fear control me and not go at all. Because now I've been going my last 3 years, and it's been such a blessing. The kids bless you, the time blesses you, all your brothers and sisters bless you. It's a great experience, and I just say, just go. Just don't be afraid. Go.
Good stuff. Hannah?
I want to say the same thing as Haley, because I was really scared of the Devo, and I just want to say, don't let that scare you. It's really not worth it. It was one of the biggest regrets I've ever had, just not going on that trip, because it seemed like so much fun and so awesome just to bless all the other people out there, and it's just such a blessing for them and for you. So I say go for it. Don't, like what Haley said, don't let that fear get in the way. Just trust in the Lord.
That's good stuff. All right. Senior boy, let's go. What do you got to say to these guys? Speechless for the first time in his life.
I don't know, because like my mom said, as soon as they announced it, she just threw me in. But I guess I can say for myself, speaking from a point of perspective, is that if you don't involve yourself in church, you can't really demand others to look for you, because if you're not putting yourself out there, no one's gonna look, and they're gonna go on with their daily lives. And I guess that was me. I was kind of hoping. I was in Plaza's room, 8th grade, hoping that someone would say hey, you want to hang out? But it wasn't until freshman year that they announced this. I was just my mom is very for it, and I guess I'll go. I speak Spanish. It shouldn't be a problem with me. And I guess just putting myself out there and being willing to go and get lost in service, like you said, it does help, especially with a lot of things. It like opens your eyes, like Joe said. It gives you a perspective of life that you should be more grateful for what you have, because if like 90% of us had iPads when we were like a lot younger, at least for like seniors and juniors, for most of them, they would have all been like glued to their phones.
Yep.
Or but like even the kids down there, if they had iPads, we wouldn't see them outside. They would be inside their rooms. But they're not. They're climbing roofs. They're they're climbing their little place that they have outside. They don't care if they fall, because they just, oh, that's okay. Do the same thing tomorrow. I got nothing else better to do. So I guess be willing to go. Don't be scared to go, like Haley and Hannah said. I love it. All 4 years. It's been a massive blessing in my life. Yeah.
All right, very good. Let's give it up for this group here, and we'll one more time. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. Did you want to say something else? Oh, okay.
What about Bella?
Sure, Bella can tell us. She's not a senior, but tell us, Bella, what would you say to the younger people out here?
Don't let the Devo scare you.
Okay.
Like they were saying, it's the Devo. If God wants you on the trip, He'll provide a Devo for you.
Yes.
And that's something that I was shown. And you might not even do it. Like, I didn't do mine, so it's like, why was I stressing the whole time?
Isn't that the worst? Oh, man. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. Let's give it up for this group. Let's get the next group of seniors. What other seniors do we have that went on the group? Come on up. Any seniors? Do we have just the one? Any other seniors that went? Okay. How about a couple of the adults? Emily or Marcy, is she even in here? She take off. She's like, no way, I'm running. Come on up. Oh, there she is right there. Yeah, you want to come up and share? Come on up. Yeah, let's give it up for the adults. Yeah. You've got the microphone over there, right? David, grab that mic. David, tell us your first name.
I'm David.
And what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
Senior, obviously. All right. And tell us your first name, please.
Emily.
All right. And over here?
My name is Marcy, and I was officially the oldest person on the trip.
Oh, okay. Which trip was this for you? How many times have you been down?
Oh my gosh, I was sitting back there trying to think how many times I've been down there, and I can't even count. We've been going down since, I think Elias was maybe like 7, and he's about to be 28.
Right.
So 20 plus years, and like some of the team was saying, Caleb, he's made connections for the past 4 years. I've made connections like that. They're my family down there. Yeah.
You've been down for 20 years. How many times has the cartel kidnapped you?
Never.
Okay.
Never seen the cartel down there.
Did they ever murder you, or?
I've never been murdered. No.
Okay. Okay. Strangely enough, this is not going to help you feel any better, but we actually learned last summer. I didn't know this. I guess I never realized it, but they're like in the Rosarito, Ensenada area, actually. We found out that there's not really a cartel down there. Again, I told you this is not going to make you feel much better, but there's not really cartel down there. It's actually the police that are the ones that are out to get your money. The police don't go kidnapping anybody, but they do like to pull people over and try to get you to buy them off if they can. Which actually just happened to Jeannie. I was talking to Jeannie a couple days ago. Happened to her on the way up here, sadly. But yeah, so we've been going down for a lot of years and never run into that kind of trouble. Now, could that kind of trouble happen? Sure, something could happen. Yeah. But something could happen here also. Just we are trusting the Lord as we go down.
Right. Like Jeannie would say, just trust in the Lord, bro.
She would throw bro in there. Okay. So you haven't been on all of the trips that we've done, but what made you go on this trip?
There were many years that I didn't get to come along when Pastor Chris would go on the trips when we were back in San Bernardino, because I always had kids, and I was always home. A couple times I didn't go. I didn't go last year because we were taking pictures of Phoebe, her pictures for college, her graduation pictures. So this year, again, I struggled with going because I hurt myself at work. I'm not working right now. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do any of the physical labor. And that's very, very difficult for me because I'm not a type of person just to sit around. Like, I feel completely useless. But the Lord really, really put it on my heart that I needed to be there to support my husband. So I knew that I needed to go, even if I was just going to be a presence there to support him in any way that I could, that I needed to be there. So I made the decision to come along on the trip.
So what'd you end up doing? You couldn't do the physical work. What'd you end up doing?
Well, I actually at the ranch, I got to help a little bit with the cement on my good hand. I was pushing down the cement with the rebar because you'll see in the video there the cement machine didn't work. So the guys had to do everything by hand, and it was so impressive. The guys that worked on the cement were they were workhorses, and they didn't stop. And yes, I have video of AJ throwing some cement around, but I also got to gather the eggs from the chickens from a chicken coop that was built a few years ago, and I got to feed the horses, and I got to go around and do whatever I could to help Carlos. I helped him jump start a car. Whatever I could do with my free hand, I was out there still doing it. I helped Emily with some painting. I couldn't do a lot of things, but I made sure that I occupied my time as much as I could.
And then you can go ahead and pass it on to Emily. And then there's one part that she's leaving out, super important part. Pastor Cisco, the missions pastor here, put her in charge of all of the accounting, the receipts. Now, she works for Target, I know. And she actually is the one that counts all the money. And so money, that's like, hey, that's right up her alley. And she was keeping track of all the money, all the receipts all week long. And I was relieved, and Pastor Cisco was extremely impressed and grateful that all that was taken care of. Because that can, you're working with pesos and exchanging and whatever, it can come back an absolute mess, which normally happens when I do it. So I'm sure that not only Cisco, but probably the ladies in the office were probably very thankful that she had that, and that Pastor Chris didn't have it, because it would have been a mess. So did a great job of that. All right, Emily, what made you want to go down on this trip?
This was my third trip to Mexico, and honestly, I couldn't miss it. I love going down there. I love being able to serve down there. I have a heart for serving, so I had to go. It was my girls' last trip too, so I wanted to be there with them and be able to have that one last trip with them. And yeah, it would be too much FOMO if I didn't go.
Okay. Yeah, but these are like your oldest girls, and then you have like how many more? Like 8 more kids or something. So you could just keep on going for the rest of your life.
And I plan to. It's kind of one of those things. It's yearly. Oh, she's going to Mexico around this time. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been down before, and that just fueled you for this one. Let's go again. All right.
Yes.
Let's ask David the same thing. David, it's your last trip with us. What made you want to go down?
So yeah, this is my last trip, and I went to the last 3, so I was like, for my last high school year, like, why not go to this one? But I also heard that there was concrete work, so I was like, throw me on that team. Yeah. Yeah, and when we found out the concrete machine was broken, it's like, no problem, we got David. Send him down there. And he went, yeah, him and the guys. I'll just tell you, it was a lot of extra work without that machine.
Yeah.
A lot of extra hard work, so.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
But you're better for it.
Yeah,
okay.
And it kept us busy for sure.
Okay. What was the most challenging part of the week for you, David?
Honestly, I would say the concrete, but I bonded so well with the guys down there that the concrete work didn't feel like much. Like, even though I was the only one doing the wheelbarrows of concrete, like, I guess it was just them, like, always pushing me to keep going and, like, get it done. I think the hardest part was leaving the job unfinished at the end of the week because we weren't able to finish the second level.
Yeah. I mean, the machine broke. That changes the whole game. So now everything slows down. And but I got a picture from Andres showing me the finished product, man. So they got, the cement was laid, and they were putting up the walls of the block walls around it. And Andres sent me a picture. Done. So, you contributed to that, which is really cool. All right, let's ask Emily, what was the most challenging part of the week for you?
Well, I was, well, one, everybody was enjoying the kids and I was in a room trying to figure out how to make frames on a wall that I didn't cut straight.
So, real quickly, before she goes on, there was an outside wall on the kitchen area with handprints on it from years ago. Like, I remember this wall from when I first started going. All these handprints. And of all the kids, like a bunch of the kids, not all the kids, but a bunch of the kids and adults that had been there. And the wall was falling apart, basically. The outward veneer, the outward part of it is real thin. And so Jeannie wanted that whole wall cut out and then preserved somehow. Frame it, hang it on the wall. So it's like, art? I know an artist, and I volunteered Emily, I was like, hey, guess what you get to do this week? And so she found out right before the trip, and got to talk to Jeannie. But anyways, so you were in a room working on that?
Yeah, I had never done that type of work before. I had never, anything that comes to measurements, whatever, I'm like, throw that on my husband. Can you measure that out? And I'll just put it together. So, yeah, and then it was, well, this wall could fall apart while you're taking it down, and so I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose these handprints and all of this, and but fortunately the Lord worked it out to where I was able to cut it out and section it out and everything, and also the framing worked well, thankfully. Yeah.
And it came out great.
So the biggest challenge was what? Was just being
was-
on your own the whole time?
It was more or less getting the frame to fit right. I wanted it to look right. If you know me, I have issues of wanting it to be perfect. And so, yeah, I just trying to get that frame together, it just kept popping off in the corners and throwing things in there. At least I was by myself, so it was okay. And then eventually the Lord just all of a sudden, it was like, hey, it fits. Okay.
And was it perfect?
It was as perfect it was going to be. So yeah, in my eyes, it was perfect.
And Jeannie was fine with it.
Jeannie loved
loved
it.
it. Yep.
It was great.
So,
It's preserved. It's not going anywhere.
Okay.
That thing is solid.
Okay. It says, yeah.
Exactly.
So Mexico perfect. Yeah. What was your the most challenging part of the week for you?
The most challenging part for me was I got sick. I don't ever get sick, and so I was fighting it and not allowing it to stop me. But I felt really, really bad. But I couldn't stop because I knew that if I stopped working or stopped doing anything, that like I would start to really, really feel it. But it was very difficult for me because I don't get sick. I never get sick, and so to be sick on top of being injured, I was like, really? Is this really? I'm gonna go out like this? I was like, no, I'm not. And so I just kept pushing through it, and I didn't let myself be sick until I got home, and then I couldn't get out of bed. But yeah, that was difficult for me.
Okay. Funnest part of the week for you?
Funnest part of the week have to be all the singing with Caleb.
Okay.
He sang and he had everybody singing and dancing, and we got video of that too.
Yeah. Lots of videos circulating. Yeah. Funnest part of the week for you, Emily?
Gosh, there's so many. Just laughing with everybody. Also flying in the van and hitting my head on the ceiling.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I literally airborne.
Wow.
Airborne. Joaquin witnessed it.
Yep, I saw it, yep.
But gosh, it was just spending time with everybody. It's always fun to laugh and just enjoy each other, get to know each other more. It bonds you so much. It really does. It's like, I already felt like they were my kids. It's just even more now, and I'm not gonna make it for graduation.
David, what was the funnest part of the week for you?
I'd say the funnest part of the week for me was definitely the soccer night.
Okay.
Yeah. When at the end, after all the teams were done playing, pretty much all us teenagers got to go out and just have fun on the soccer field.
Okay. Run around playing soccer. Yep. David, you're a senior, man. This is your last trip with us.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to the younger ones?
I'd say Honestly, I'd say just try it out 1 year, because I know my first year, I was debating if I wanted to go, because I was really a homebody. I did not want to leave. But I felt like I was going to miss out, especially since my friends were going, or I think at the time, I think Caleb was one of my closest friends, and he was like, yeah, I'm going, like, why don't you come? So I was like, sure, why not? I'll try it out. But I would say I definitely 100% do not regret going. I wish I had more years in the high school to go, but yeah, young adults is a new year. So
The high school comes and goes real quick, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, it comes and goes real quick. So, okay, let's give it up for these guys here. Thank you so much for coming up. I'll take that mic from them. Thank you. Thank you.